Ms. Redcross?
Here.
Ms. Williams?
Here.
Ms. Ramsey?
Here.
Chair Pons?
Here.
Vice Chair Dent?
Here.
Ms. Kernchier?
Here.
Ms. Prescott?
Here.
Okay, in our packets, we have some minutes for August 11th, September 8th, August 11th again, and the special called meeting on September 8th. Everybody have a chance to review those? Any corrections, changes, motions?
So I move that the minutes for the WRHA be approved.
Second.
Ms. McKay?
Ms. Redcross?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Ms. Ramsey?
Aye.
Chair Pons?
Aye.
Vice Chair Dent?
Aye.
Ms. Kernchier?
Aye.
Prescott?
Aye.
Okay. Open forum, if anybody would like to come forward, seeing nobody in the audience. You have something to say? We'll close the open forum and we'll move on to quarterly reports. And first is the quarterly financial report. Mr. Franklin.
Thank you, Mayor. Oh, I'm sorry, Chairman of the Board, Commissioners. I'd like to start off by saying, let me make comments about the shutdown first, to kind of set the tone for what I will be reporting to you. The shutdown will have impacts on the authority. Let me give you an example. When we call the Richmond office to get some feedback or to get some counseling on issues that we're currently dealing with, we get a recording, which means they're not even answering our calls. So we just received our last drawdown November 3rd. That will be it. So until the government decides to reopen. And we have resources that will last us maybe about 4 months out. And then we'll be in a situation. So I'm hopeful that the Senate and the House will come to terms and do something to make things better. Because going forward, I'm concerned about what the impacts will be for our authority. So with that, I'll start into my update. The authority has collected $131,153 in rent revenues during the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2025. Our year-to-date total is $533,728. This represents 113% of what we projected in the budget of $470,000. So as you can see, our income revenue for rent is doing quite well. Basically, we outperformed what we budgeted. We are in excess of $63,728, and I feel good about that. In other income, the line item, the authority has received $7,003 this quarter. This brings our year-to-date total to $27,137. This amount is $2,878 less than what we projected, which was the amount of $30,015. In our HUD operating subsidy funds, the authority, we received a total amount of $386,275, which is slightly lower than what we projected at $387,000. In our HUD capital funds for fiscal year 2025, we received $524,262. We programmed $380,000, so as you can see, we did quite well in that line item. Mostly due to receiving additional grant funds from the Safety and Security Grant in the amount of $105,113. At the end of the fiscal year, our revenues were up by $251,142. And we still have some outstanding expenditures. So after we take care of those expenditures, we're looking to have a surplus of around $100,000. Our fourth quarter checking accounts and deposits in our investments, we have a grand total of $1,164,228. So as you can see, we're in a pretty good financial position right now. But if the federal government continues with the shutdown and we no longer receive our subsidies, we will be in a tough spot. So I'm concerned.
So I think the Senate has voted, I guess they have 3 votes to do, and they've already voted twice, so it looks like they may come out of a shutdown. But if they did shut down and we missed some payments, would you imagine, or do you know if there's a law that says they have to make up those payments? For example, when federal government employees are furloughed and they're missing paychecks, once the government reopens, they get all their back pay. Would that be the case for the authority?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
So I would.
It's like you wrote it for me.
But I would think, in a practical standpoint, it would make sense for it to not impact us based on what they have projected for us in the budget. So it would just be delayed.
Right. Okay. Well, as you point out, we're in good financial position, so if we did miss some payments and payments were only delayed, we'd still be in good shape.
I think so. I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
With the new developments, as you stated, they seem to be moving in the right direction. I just hope it doesn't get thrown off its direction.
Yep, let's hope so. You mentioned that the rents were higher. Is that because we're having less delinquency, or is it because our tenants are more gainfully employed and they're having to pay more rent?
I think it's a combination of a number of things, and to include what you just stated. I would put the emphasis on staff's ability to set the tone for our tenants, and to be diligent with the process of enforcing the lease. So we also have been pretty aggressive when it comes to work orders. Aside from the normal wear and tear of things that occur in an apartment, we will atone for that or take care of those items. But if it's something that's on the tenants, something that they did, then we are aggressive in terms of making them pay for those damages. And that's reflected on the rent side. So those two items, I think, are primarily what drives the increases that we're seeing. And I do think that the tenants that we have are gainfully employed, and so 30% of their income, they may be paying slightly more in excess of in rent based on what they're bringing in, 30%. So, like I said, a combination of several things are reflective in why we are receiving additional resources under the rent category.
Good. Well, all are good things and appropriate things, but I'm pleased if we're seeing wages increase for some of our tenants, and that's causing some of the increase. But, again, to the other point, if they're causing damages, they should pay, I think. Good. I don't know if that concluded your report, if I interrupted you.
That concludes my report. And if you have any questions.
Anybody else have any questions?
Absolutely.
So I had one question. You mentioned about the drawdown or subsidy from HUD. When is the next one supposed to occur? And is it broken down by quarter or?
We do the monthly.
Oh, monthly, okay. So there hasn't been any receipt then for the month of October or the month of November, I would imagine.
Right, so, well, let me put it this way. I don't want to say quarterly because it just depends on when it hits the system, when it shows up in the system. And so as soon as it shows up, Julie immediately sequesters those funds and pulls them down. So maybe not monthly, but sometimes it does happen on a monthly basis.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I have no questions. Thank you.
Ms. Redcross, anything? Okay. Want to jump into the operating reports?
Absolutely. So with regards to our quarterly reports, I'm going to kind of touch on some. If there's anything that really stands out that you want me to go into more detail, I'll be happy to do that. But as we glance over this and look at the activities that we've been involved in over the quarter, turnarounds, end of the fourth quarter, usually at this area, we, on average, have done around maybe about 25, 27 turnarounds for the year, but this is a little higher. It's at 35, and I like to think it's due to our ability to enforce the lease. sometimes people don't always follow in accordance with the lease, and it involves them into maybe getting evicted, and so we have to then go in and make sure the unit is prepared for the next opportunity. And so I'll lend my opinions to the reason why the number is a little higher. Nonetheless, 35 units have been completed this fiscal year. There are 20 units with outstanding balances totaling $9,880. We've filed unlawful detainers for those, and we have court dates pending this month to rectify that. With regards to debt set-off, we've collected $11,297.85 from our prior tenants through the debt set-off program. As you know, the Virginia Department of Taxation, they do have fees, and so they've withheld $304.89, so that brings our total collected to $10,992.96. Outstanding work orders. Good news, we have been working with a short staff for quite some time. It's been quite difficult to fill the maintenance tech position. It had been vacant for maybe about 7 months, 8 months. But we now have a new employee. His name is Marcus Ruffin, and he came in hitting the ground running. He did come in with some experience and has been quite helpful. With his assistance and with some contractors, we've been able to kind of knock down our outstanding work orders. You know, and when I say outstanding, we take care of things that are considered emergencies right away. But if it's like a broken blind or a screen, we put those on the kind of the back burner. We'll get to them, but nonetheless, they build up, they stack up, and so with him coming on, we've been able to knock things out. To date, we've completed 978 work orders for the year, and I'm excited about the prospect of not having to use contractors as much, because that's where we find our savings. So I'm excited about that. The waiting list, we have currently 702 eligible applications on the waiting list right now, and usually we open up the waiting list in the spring. So we will be working with that number for now. Workforce housing, we currently have 14 workforce houses that we manage for the city. We have 13 units that are currently occupied at this time. We're currently working on the house that's located at 367 Rochambeau Drive, and we're excited about that because we're going to try to maximize that opportunity. And currently, we have 7 employees on our waiting list. We have 3 that are graduating out of the program in 2026. So this is a very effective, incentive program that the city has allowed us to work with. And so I'm always happy about your updates on this. And we also are helping our employees with educational opportunities for home ownership and financial stability. And so we've offered 8 financial workshops, and we had a 4-hour first-time home buyers course that we work closely with the Virginia Housing Organization, or VHDA, and that's going to be an annual thing that we do maybe twice a year. So we're excited about that relationship. As far as project updates, we're so excited about the 3 laundromats and what it means for our communities, and we thank the board and city council for everything that was afforded to the authority to make that a reality. And I just want you to know that they are being utilized. Glad about that. And we also just recently, in all 3, have vending machines that have been placed in the facilities, and so those are revenue opportunities that we're excited about as well. And those vending machines are being utilized. So, as far as our security measures, we've added 5 additional security cameras on all of our sites, and installed additional lighting. We're in response to some concerns from our Williamsburg Police Department. And so I believe the things that we've done on the site have drastically improve just the overall safety and the way that the community has been reflected, I guess, for lack of a better expression. It's just the way that it feels in those communities. The things feel a lot better. We do have some public housing quarterly activities listed and some personnel employment training opportunities that are listed. So if you have any questions with regards to what we have in this package, I'd be glad to go into further detail. And that concludes my comments with that.
Comments, thoughts?
No question.
Okay. We also do have, we have some documents that we've included in the package for your review. I always like to highlight the newsletter because that's how we communicate with our residents. And so if there are any other comments that you might have with regards to those things that we have in the package, glad to talk about them as well.
Well, just a comment about the security cameras. I know that there may have been some concern expressed about invasion of privacy, but I'm glad to hear that they have been well received and the residents see it as a benefit. And Ms. Prescott, I would like to think that people feel safer, and that's an important part of providing the housing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. And I can tell you, and I'm not here to throw anybody under the bus, but I've been around and seen other communities, even our neighbors that don't have the cameras, issues that they deal with. If only they would make the investment.
Yep. Well, this could be an example for them. Okay. There are no other comments on the report. We'll move on to new business. And first is consideration and approval for the use of WRHA's property located on Katherine Circle apartment for a new bus stop in the Highland Park neighborhood.
Okay, this is more of a housekeeping issue. This is something that was shared with the commission, maybe I think in August. So this is where the rubber meets the road. We got a request from staff and planning that they are prepared to start doing design work and to start spending money, but wanted to make sure that this activity would be approved or acceptable from the commissioners. And so this is why it's before you today. I was able to participate in several meetings with the neighborhood, with Highland Park neighborhood and community members. They had good comments, and at the end of those discussions, they agreed that they would like to see the new bus stop located on Dunning Street, more specifically in front of our housing complex. And so the request today would be to seek the board's approval for the use of WRHA's own property located at Katherine Circle apartments for the new bus stop for the Highland Park community. And as you can see, this is the general location. We're basically relocating the bus stop from North Henry Street on over to Dunning Street.
All right, so when you talk about residents' requested location, at the top of Dunning Street, you say the residents, is that the residents of Katherine Circle or the residents of Highland Park?
Highland Park.
Yeah.
Sorry if I made that confusing, but Highland Park. And the main premise here is, as far as the city is concerned, is that we don't have to do any acquisition. We decided to do it at another location. We basically can just use Housing Authority-owned property if the board so chose to allow this for the use at no additional cost to the city.
Well, imagine they're certainly better than the current locations on 132 to be in the neighborhood safer, and they don't have to cross that street. So, so the recommendation would be to place it at the residential requested location.
in front of the Housing Authority's property, right on Dunning Street.
Okay, good. Any questions, thoughts down here? Mr. Vice Chair?
So the request is to place it at the resident requested location.
That's right. Well, we're asking that it be placed at the location in front of Katherine Circle Apartments.
So,
City-
Which is the city proposed
The city's
location.
proposal.
Okay,
And-
that's
and
where I
we-
got confused.
And we did not get any pushback from the citizens or the residents of Highland Park for that site. They are in favor of that site.
Okay. I mean, it's not a lot of difference in the two sites.
Right. And the reason why I said the city probably chose the site is because of the acquisition costs for right away. Cost savings.
Okay, so even though it says resident proposed location, they're happy to have it at the city proposed location.
Yes, sir.
Hasn't been any pushback, I think is what you said.
No pushback. No pushback.
Yeah, it is a big difference because you don't have to go down that big hill.
Right, that's what,
That's the bottom, I mean, that's the crux, I mean, imagine.
Ms. Prescott, any questions?
No, I got it.
Okay, good. Down here. Ms. Randall.
So, just one question, so this is sort of a logistical thing. So there'll be one bus stop, and regardless of whether the bus is coming in this way or going out, usually, a bus picks up people when it's going this direction from one side of the road and then picks them up from the opposite side of the road when they're coming back on the loop. But in this case, it would just, everyone would be picked up and get off at that one location.
At that one location.
Okay. So currently, there are two stops going out and coming back in kind of thing, and both of those would go away, as I understand.
That is correct.
And just have the one at Dunning Street.
Is that right? Like, so this, because that's not, my understanding was this would be the coming into town bus stop.
Right.
So you would be coming down 132, Water would turn on Dunning and then come down Henry. But the outbound on 132 bus stop would still be there. And so I'm wrong about that? What?
Okay. I'm not clear on that. I know from the discussions that the interest would be for the new bus stop to be located on Housing Authority property. So I'm representing that today.
Speak up a little bit.
I said I'm representing the position that the residents of Highland Park have an interest in our site, our property, to be used as a new bus location. So I don't have the details in terms of what is currently in place at this time. So I'm really just representing an action that needs to happen prior to the authority granting the use of that property.
My understanding is that the bus, when it's coming into town, as you said, Ms. Kernscher will turn right onto Dunning, stop in front of Katherine Circle, and pick up people, drop off people, and then go down North Henry and continue on Henry. But when it leaves town, it does not have time to make that left turn onto North Henry, Dunning, and then a left turn onto 132, so the outbound stop is remaining where it is. That's my understanding.
Okay.
It just, there wasn't enough time for the bus to make those, that would be two more left turns, and it could not do that.
So the bottom current bus stop location will be removed.
Correct.
Replaced with the one up on Dunning Street.
Yes.
But then the second bus stop would
Will
remain.
remain.
Okay.
And we realize I mean, if in a perfect world, it would be in the neighborhood where the other one was, there just wasn't enough time for the route to do that.
Okay. Sort of clarification.
And so there was money put into renovating, modernizing one of the stops. Is that on 132, or is that money going to be used inside by Katherine Circle?
Katherine Circle. So that money was for the bus stop that's being relocated, the bottom left circle.
But let's be clear, because you've actually got quite a bit of money dedicated to bus stop improvement. And the way you just worded your sentence confuses me. When they
my job.
redid the Governor's Inn, one of the proffers was for a new bus stop to be constructed, totally new, right?
Okay.
And so that's the money that Michelle just talked about. In your budget, you have given money to renovate and improve existing bus stops. I don't know if one of these two is one of those or not, but that, just to keep the money separated.
Okay. Well, and for that matter, the issue that we're approving today is to add a bus stop at Katherine Circuit.
That's it.
Regardless of what happens
That's
at
it.
the other stops.
Which is the new bus stop from
Right.
the apartments.
That's right.
To authorize the land use for it.
They can't begin to start a project without your approval.
All buses stop here.
That's right.
Have to get you a
Ms.
sign.
Williams, any?
All my questions have been answered.
No
Prescott?
questions.
But Ms. Ramsey, our motion maker?
Motion queen. So I move that the board approve the use of WRHA-owned property located at Katherine Circle Apartments for the new bus stop located in Highland Park.
Second?
Thank you. Ms. McKay?
Ms. Red Cross.
Aye.
Ms. Williams.
Aye.
Ms. Ramsey.
Aye.
Chair Pons.
Aye.
Vice Chair Dent.
Aye.
Ms. Kernscher.
Aye.
Pat.
Okay. That leads us to item 7 on our, question, thought? Ms. Prescott?
Only aye.
Oh,
Sorry, I thought I did. Ms. Prescott.
Aye.
okay. Good. Want to make sure that's
After
unanimous.
hanging down here.
I thought I heard Ms. Prescott. So. Okay, leads us now to item 7, which is adjournment, unless there's any other business. Would like to make a motion?
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. Ms. McKay?
Ms. Red Cross.
Aye.
Ms. Williams.
Aye.
Ms. Ramsey.
Aye.
Chair Pons.
Aye.
Vice Chair Dent.
Aye.
Ms. Kernscher.
Aye.
Ms. Prescott.
Aye.
All right. Thank you. We are adjourned. Appreciate everybody's attention.